President Joe Biden calls reopening our schools a national emergency. Joining us now, the president of the San Diego Education Association, Keisha Borden. Keisha, good morning. Thank you for taking the time.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure. Let's start with the basics here. Where do things stand right now in regards to San Diego Unified and getting our kids back in-person learning?
So as of now, according to the governor's guidelines, schools are not able to open in the purple tier if they had not been open previously. So right now, San Diego Unified is not able to open while we are in the purple tier.
I'm sure you watched over the weekend President Biden stressing the importance of reopening our schools. He did that during his Super Bowl interview. We want to play a quick part of that right now for us.
It generally is a national emergency.
Do you think it's time for schools to reopen?
I think it's time for schools to reopen safely. Safely. You have to have fewer people in the classroom. You have to have ventilation systems that have been reworked. Our CDC commissioner is going to be coming out with science-based judgment within, I think, as early as Wednesday as to lay out what the minimum requirements are.
So I think safely being the operative word there, Keisha. But, you know, it's so subjective. You're looking at the health experts, what they say, the governments, what they say, the unions, what they say. When you hear the president say that, what goes through your mind, and what do you tell the teachers of San Diego Unified?
Well, I'm not actually telling the teachers anything. I'm listening to teachers. I myself am a teacher. I've been an educator for over 20 years in San Diego Unified, and as the current president, I'm simply the spokesperson for the other 6,500 teachers. So the teachers are telling me that they do not feel safe going back into classrooms at 6 times purple tier levels. So we are continuing to work with San Diego Unified to follow the science guidelines. I really don't think it is subjective. I think we are following the science. We've recently re-engaged with the UCSD experts to get updated information because so much has changed since we spoke with them last summer. So I'm hearing from our educators that they want to make sure schools reopen when it's safe for our students, our communities, and our staff.
We've heard, obviously, Poway has gone back. Escondido has come back as well. They've had some quarantined staff and students as well. How critical is the size of the San Diego Unified School District in terms of getting us open when you compare us to Poway Unified or Escondido Union?
That's a great question. I think we have to remember that Escondido is 1/10 the size of San Diego Unified. Poway is 1/3 of the size. And so I think we saw Escondido open, and almost immediately over 100 children and staff members had to be quarantined within the first couple of days. That's in a district that's 1/10 of our size. So imagine San Diego Unified going back, how many students and staff members would have to be quarantined. And when we look at Poway, Poway was unable to open all of January because there simply weren't enough teachers and substitutes to staff their classrooms due to the number of COVID cases and quarantines during the surge in January. So I think we have to look logistically. If we have such large numbers of staff and students quarantining, are we even able to keep our classrooms open?
You were talking about getting teachers vaccinated. There was even talk about getting a special line at Petco to get teachers vaccinated. I believe the county supervisor, Nathan Fletcher, said that's not going to happen. Will that be enough if we get to the point, maybe a month, 2 months down the line where that happens? Is that enough to then get the teachers back? Because there are some arguments who say, well, teachers unions perhaps are saying vaccinations now are not enough. We also need to get other things, other numbers lower.
Exactly. We have to get COVID under control first and foremost. Remember that both the CDC and the state's guidelines are that schools can and should open when case rates have dropped to an appropriate level. So vaccines are obviously a critical element of that, as we now know they can prevent death and reduce the severity when someone contracts COVID. But in addition, we need those safety mitigation strategies, strict ventilation, regular testing, physical distancing, and all those things we have worked with the district to put in place. So our district has those safety measures in place. And really, that is the path we continue to pursue, opening our schools safely based on science.
I think we all agree we love our teachers. We want everybody to be safe when we go back. But then if you could explain to folks when you hear the CDC saying, well, you know, you can go back to school and in-person teaching without having teachers vaccinated. You hear pediatricians groups saying the same thing. There are impassioned pleas on both sides. Parents who want to stay safe and stay home. Other parents want their kids in school. How are we supposed to interpret when the CDC says that and then other groups are saying no?
Well, I think that is a problem. We're getting
Sure.
mixed messages. In November, Governor Newsom said it was unsafe to reopen schools and that all teachers should be vaccinated. Now in February, infection rates are 6 times higher than they were in November, but our governor has changed the message and says schools are now safe to reopen without vaccines. So I can't explain the change in the governor's thinking or the CDC. What I can say is that vaccines have and continue to be a key layer of protection against COVID, and that shouldn't change due to political pressure or any other factors. We're following the science.
Yeah, you know, make a really good point because the governor did kind of break with the CTA, the California Teachers Association, basically saying if what you're waiting for are the perfect conditions, it's not going to happen, and you might as well just be upfront and clear. We're not going to open this year.
Well, we're not waiting for the perfect conditions. We're waiting for safe conditions and the conditions that our scientists and Dr. Fauci and the CDC have said that schools should reopen when the community spread is at a safe level.
Who are we talking to? What conversations are the unions having with getting these vaccines to our teachers? Because when we heard from Nathan Fletcher last week, he said that special line's not going to happen. So what implementations, what conversations are you having to make that a priority?
Well, we are working with the district leadership. It is not our idea to have separate lanes. I think that's something the district is looking into. We are not looking to jump in front of anyone. We are willing to wait our turn, especially since we are not, most of us are not in person. I think those who are teaching in person definitely should have the vaccine, and many of our educators are teaching students in person. But again, we don't want to jump in front of those who are 75 or older or 65 or older. I think our district is simply looking for the most efficient way to get our educators vaccinated.
I think we're trying to figure out that we're all kind of in the same boat here. We all want the same things, just the means to an end are a little bit different. Students' parents are in limbo. There's a standstill. There's petitions. There's rallies. There's lawsuits going around. Cities versus districts and cities versus unions. What in the world's going on, Keisha, and when can we legitimately expect to go back? Is there even a timeline for us? Is there any hope this year? Because we spoke with Richard Barrera last week, and he said, well, maybe there might be some hope to get some school in person back this school year. Is that a reality? Is that a possibility?
Well, I think right now there are kids who are back in school. We've expanded recently. San Diego Unified just announced a major expansion of our appointment-based learning program that's still maintaining strict safety protections. And I will say that we've also heard from a lot of parents who do not feel safe coming back. And parents have responded to teachers who are inviting them onto campuses for small groups and for short appointments. And those parents simply do not feel comfortable. We have many teachers who have said, I've invited parents and they don't feel comfortable sending their children into school sites.
It's a very good point. And passion, please, as I said, on both sides here. Keisha Borden, hopefully there's a resolution at some point as long as everybody stays safe. We thank you for the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Keisha.